Good.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the pre show. This is the Nutty Show because we're here to support WolfLover's Paranormal Investigators. Here to. I find that rather strange. Is that me coming back?
No, that was me just for 1 second. I
You
just had
you,
to.
you picked
Yeah.
up the wrong remote for your TV. I
No,
know.
not this time. The stream just started on my other page, so I was ready with the mute.
Ah,
And don't worry, it's
right.
no big deal. Hello.
Right. So, apologies if you were expecting a normal Friday night mayhem. We're not actually. Well, it might be mayhemic, but if that's a word, even. But it is the pre-show to the live, which is going on at 8 o'clock. So we'll have to finish a little bit early than 8 o'clock, so people can get across from here and go and watch it. So, what is a paranormal investigator, Sandro?
Paranormal. Well, it's like I guess I guess it's you threw me on the spot there. I guess it's like
Yes, I know. I always do that, don't I?
so you say you think of the word like supernatural. You've got natural, you've got all those things that you can see, experience, understand, process. Supernatural are those things that are just out of the grasp of your understanding, aren't they? Really, or things that we can't actually uh, identify as being logical at times. It's all theoretical, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it, isn't it? I mean, you're free to do it because, like, it's okay. You've got all that stuff from history, documentation, and supposed proof, and things like that, and people's experience. Hang on, Tunets is at it already. Supernature, supernature. Yeah, it's the song.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Carry On Wayward Son.
So it is about like just gathering evidence, isn't it? Even if it's for like generations in the future to look back on and tally up to, or
Oh,
even,
yeah. I
take
know. I
on.
just wondered what it would be classed as. You with me? I mean, I can understand the investigation part, and I can understand the paranormal, and trying to prove or disprove. Yeah, that sort of makes sense. But I just, I mean, I'm thinking of things like, that I've seen on the TV, where you got these so-called paranormal investigators that are anything but. They're just, oh, I don't know, actors.
Well, some play it up because that's again, especially if it's on YouTube, people want that. People want to see people freaking out. But also, it's not always staged. You might have somebody in there that might just trigger it off. And when you're
Mm.
in an environment like that in a group, you get the knock-on effect, don't you? If one person freaks, like it's likely there's a chain effect, and other people will freak. But that energy, doesn't that energy do something itself? Would that energy build up and make you more susceptible to?
Well, this is where I think it should be open to a discussion sometime. But if you believe that energy is left behind,
Uh-huh.
right, then you're not actually necessarily believing in spirits, just in energy,
Yep.
right? Energy doesn't mean supernatural events, but what it could do is it could interfere with your own um, chat. Sorry, just saw something. Why did it come up with that? Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. I wasn't even in it. Never mind. Yeah, sorry. Where was I up to? Brain dead.
You were talking about
Totally.
energy rather than
That's right. Yeah.
what some perceive as ghosts, as in dismembered spirits or bodies.
Well, everybody says that they have a spirit, or most people, right? Of some description. Now, if that is energy, the physical side obviously disappears because you're no longer there, but the energy is left.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether Sasquatch would agree or disagree with that statement. He's very open-minded, I must admit, and do appreciate you coming all the way over from America to say hi. Right, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you would call a ghost or a spirit, or is it energy? I mean, I'm a firm believer that once you're brown bread, you're brown bread. You know, there's nothing left. Hello, Ajot. How are you doing?
Yeah, now this is the interesting stuff, isn't it? I mean, is it just because? I mean, there's different theories on residual energies. I mean, where does it reside? Is it in another parallel that's just seeping over to ours? Is it an energy, or is it an energy that's left in our realms? Could it be? There's a theory about something called the Akashic Records in a place called the hologrammatic universe, where layers of time and events have been left. They're there. Once something's been done, it's been done, and it's there, set in time and space. On another level, just like a hologram. There's lots of layers, and some people believe that one way or another they can tap into those layers and maybe not interact. Now, this is the thing: can you interact, or is that just coincidence, or is it just a chance that you get a response? Is that energy just responding to your energy rather than answering questions?
Well, it'd be okay. So how do you measure it? First of all, you've got to have some sort of device which picks up energy of some description, whether it reads it and comes out as noise, or whether it turns a light on and off, or interferes with the electricity, with it being an energy.
I mean, that's energy for you. Energy will interact with other energy. Like we're talking about devices and meters and stuff that will pick up on energy. But
yeah,
do
but
we need them?
what I'm saying is, well, if you're going to prove that the energy is still there years after someone's passed, I mean, theoretically, everything that dies, whether it be a plant, animal, I was going to say mineral then, but technically, I suppose coral's not mineral, but but everything that dies has some sort of energy.
Yeah.
According to the theory that we're talking about, right?
Yeah. I mean,
so therefore, the world would eventually be full of energy. But why would you want to try and control it?
When you say control it, in what way do you mean by controlling it?
Well, if you're asking it to do something, you're controlling it.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Yeah. Well, exactly. I mean, I have my reservations about that kind of thing. It's like the whole idea. I mean, I've said it before, and I'm not dismissing it or saying don't do it or anything like that. But why be nice? Why say please and thank you and, try and coax it in that kind of way when it's just energy? If it's just energy, it depends on what you believe. If you really believe that you're contacting something that's hearing you and will respond to your words, then that's fair enough. If you get a response, you get a response. But why go through that procedure? Why not just sit there quietly? Why say anything at all? I mean, of course, when it's being broadcast, you need to express what you're doing and make it clear what you're trying to do. So you'll say things out loud. So would say back before technology, a paranormal investigator may just sit there in a meditative state and tune in. But the thing is there's no proof, is there? If you look through history where people have made claims of experiencing this, seeing that, it's just word of mouth, isn't it? And without the proof, without somebody knowing, for sure, they will question a person. Where if it's a bit of technology, that will give a response, it may be more, I don't know about believable, but you can record those responses for everybody to see. And it's not just something that's in a clairvoyant's head that's been expressed through their own mouth and then become questionable that, have they made it up or not?
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's the question. If you sit there in total silence, or you're being filmed, so therefore you speak. What are you trying to do? You're trying to feel the energy, because some people believe that in a meditative state you can feel energy around you
Yeah.
and you can absorb that energy. I mean, I'm talking on the fringe, where people take meditation too far. In some respects, some people just sit there and do absolutely nothing for hours. But yeah, it's one of them nights, I think. I just don't know. I think you've got to have that interaction, but I think that interaction is caused through the energy you're giving off.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, if it meets something else, energy or something, you will get that interaction.
When we talk about being vocal about it, though, if you think of energy, if this energy is still vibrational, then to put out a vibrational message via, vocal cords and, putting vibration, a bit like meditation again, that all, that's all
Yep.
about putting the vibrations out and resonating with the universe and the universe attracting it, itself back to you. I mean, there may be something in that to speak it out sends vibrations out in a similar way, not in the same way as like speaking and giving oxygen to plants. You're actually physically putting it out there. Or is it intention? Could it be intention to do that with the intent in mind? Even if you didn't need to say anything, these energies are picking up on your mental state, and because you're focusing on the words that you're saying, you're making that message more solid. Or
well, yeah, if you say something, you create vibration. So this is what I'm saying. Personally, I don't believe in the paranormal directly, because there's no evidence to support it. But at the same time, I don't not believe on that basis, because there's no evidence to prove otherwise.
Yeah.
So yeah, all right, and I'm sitting on the fence slightly. But doesn't mean say I can't take the mickey out of it, but I'd rather not, because it's a very serious subject, obviously. Isn't it, Rex? Nice to see you in here. And also, of course, Jamie Madhouse. I've nicked your name, actually, your last name, because this is always a bloody madhouse when Stangu comes in.
Hey, I'm going to behave tonight.
Yeah, only because it's a serious subject to you. You know more about this stuff than I do.
Well, saying that, now, as you said, I know as much as anybody else, because again, it's all theory. I can only go by what I've done, experienced, researched. That's all I can go by. There's, like you say, there's no proof at all. So who knows anything more than anybody else about this stuff, other than this device can pick up on this, whether it be heat, whether it be vibrations, whether it be radiation. And then we're just going with the readings we get on there as being something.
Well, I'm not 100% certain. As I say, I'm 50-50, so whether it does exist or it doesn't. But at the same time, I'm also a believer that once you're gone, you're gone.
So what would you imagine happens to our life energy, or some people call it the soul, if you like, but our life energy, our life force? Where does that go in your idea or opinion?
What, in my opinion, as the Grim Reaper, I have it. Right? As a human, then I would turn around and say, well, doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. I mean,
once you're gone, right? The only time you create any energy is either you turn into fertilizer when you, after years of being buried, and you help things grow, so you're being recycled, or you get shoved into a very hot oven, and the only thing that's left is the metal.
But that's you're talking about the shell, the body. I mean, look at fire itself. That produces energy in itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, all you do is add into it.
Yeah, you're adding to it.
That's it.
And you think that energy just goes up and dissipates into the atmosphere, like the heat from a candle or a blazing fire. It will rise, it will expand, but where does it go? Because once the heat stops, where does that energy go?
It
I mean, the
becomes
thing,
zero.
it becomes zero. Maybe it expands and meshes out and becomes part of this whole matrix. But how about like being human? If we are as smart as we believe we are, or important, this sentience or this freedom of choice or whatever we were gifted or cursed with. How about if it can actually hold itself together for longer? Not everybody. I mean, some people may not even, they may live their life and never consider any of this. And when their energy is released, it just goes oof, off into the universe and it just becomes part of the whole one again. But how about, say, somebody that's been lived their life really in touch with the earth, maybe a Buddhist or a monk or, somebody that's meditated. How about if their energy, because they were so in touch with the earth in this life, they can hold themselves, or maybe not by choice even, bound to this realm for longer than those that never were.
Okay, so would you say then that everybody who passes, whenever they pass, has the same amount of energy,
Now
regardless of age?
that's a good question, because would it be, like it could be like the size of the person. Would that produce more energy? Could it be how fit the person? Do they produce more energy? That is a good question that I couldn't answer. Do we hold the same energy? I think that we probably hold different energies or different, what do you call them, energy structures, maybe. And I've often considered, say for instance, I'll give you this. I've said it before. You're sitting there. You could be sitting at your desk working, and maybe your wife or your girlfriend or somebody very more family based. Your mother could walk up behind you. How many times have you sensed that person walk behind you? You've gone like, knew you were there. You turn around and they're there because you can feel them. You can feel their energy close to you because you're so familiar with that energy. We've all done it, right?
I've seen the film.
You've seen the film. What film's that?
Oh, I'm sure it was a ghost film, life after death.
Right.
It just sounded to me so much like a film plot, that.
Well,
So made up.
So made up.
Good.
I'm talking about everyday. No. I think so. We used to do metaphysics seminars, and we were working with energy balls, and the idea if we'd get volunteers to come up, and they would stand there with their back to a wall.
One in the chat if you're bored, two in the chat if you want to continue. I'm only joking.
I'm saying in the same light that you could say your own mother, if you're close to your mother and she was putting her hand right behind you towards the back of your head, and you didn't know, you may actually sense that hand behind you and turn around quickly before she gets to touch you. And it's like, oh, I knew you were there.
Can I just say, Miss J, you are biased.
Well, Miss J wants to kick me off. You better come up and kick me off then, hadn't you?
Right. So I don't want to cause an argument. It is a discussion. It's not an argument. I like some of the points which have been made in the chat, and everybody is allowed to believe in what they believe in. They're not taking that away from us yet. They're working on it, but we can still believe what we believe in. I mean, I've heard some of your beliefs, Stango, regarding spirits,
Can I just correct you there? Can I just stop and correct you there?
Yeah.
Don't say beliefs. They're all theories.
Well, all right then, theories. All right then. Theoretically, you believe in them. Anyway, you stand up for them, which is perfectly okay. It's not a problem. You'll be back at Fun Day release tomorrow, but don't worry about it. No, seriously, The bottom line is, does a ghost actually exist in some form or another? Whatever
Yes.
label you want to call it. So you would say yes.
I would say yes. Whether think about the word ghost, though. A ghost could be a ghost of your memories. It doesn't make it any less real in the mental universe.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about whether or not you actually believe that ghosts exist, no matter what form. So it doesn't matter what makes it up.
Yeah, I do. I believe in ghosts.
Right. Okay. On Lake Hire, just got a simple yes eventually from Stangu, because I asked, do ghosts actually exist in your opinion, regardless of what form? And then he started to go on one, but he's been doing that all night.
But now, when you specify in some form, then yes, I'll say yes. That's probably the first and only time I will actually give you a yes/no answer. But yeah.
Yeah. Do you know how difficult that is, really? I'll tell you what, you can go to the bottom of the class now. Anyway, so I don't, because as it's sort of put, and I'd agree with that. Hallucinations is.
Yeah, I was just about to.
Thank you. Read it out. Go on.
I was just about to show that actually. Hallucinations, perceptual reality in the basics of religion.
Faith, in short. Now, I've got no issues whatsoever with anybody believing what they believe in, right? If you believe that you're holding a purple banana and that purple banana represents your God, who am I to disagree?
No,
a psychiatrist might, but at the same time, you could say that about religion. You know,
theoretical.
But, you know, some religions are untouchable these days, but the purple banana one, you know, I don't have faith in anything other than I know that one of these days Stangu's going to actually get one over on me. But until that day happens, I'm quite happy to remain as I am. Now, faith is something that you believe in or you don't believe in.
Well, and no, faith is something you do believe in, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but you do or you don't. Look, it's like turning around saying, if you believe in heaven, you must believe in hell. So the same goes for if you believe in a God, then there has to be the opposite.
Faith in God is a choice, but faith itself, you can have faith in yourself, but you don't have necessarily have faith in a God. But you can have.
I like that one.
Or vice versa.
That's quite amusing, because although it is amusing, it's also sad. No, as I say, I don't. Religion doesn't interest me. I think it's one of those subjects that as soon as you start opening up, you end up with good versus evil.
Remember, we've got to we need to set religion and faith apart, don't we? You can have faith; it doesn't necessarily you're religious. Religion is more of a cult, isn't it, or a following or an indoctrination? Where faith itself is it can be a personal thing. Come on, let me say personal Jesus. There you go. She's got tunettes on the go already. Who am I to disagree? You can have faith.
Oh. Right. So, what's happening at 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock.
Yeah, there's a live going on.
There's no sacrifices on the menu here. Yeah, 8 o'clock over on. Is it on WolfLover Paranormal? They've changed the name now, isn't it? Is it WolfLover Paranormal Investigators now?
Yes.
I'll have the link if you like.
Yes, please. Dennison. Hiya. Nice to see you here. Nice to see everybody in here, actually, to be honest. Very different from our normal sort of chat. There's no humour from Stangu tonight. He's dead serious about this because he takes paranormal a damn sight more serious than I do. I don't know why. I know why I volunteered to do this, because I would love to be able to say that WolfLover's paranormal investigators actually find evidence to support that there is a paranormal of some description, because that would be great, and it would put all these doubters to shame.
Now, this is the thing, though, isn't it? Every piece of evidence that anybody's ever gained so far, even if it's just in your face, like movement, it's all questionable, especially when it's recorded, where recordings are meant to be pointing across evidence. But in this day and age, especially, it's questionable, isn't it? Because people will say, "Oh, it could have been this, couldn't be that." The only way to do it is to be there, really, isn't it? That's the only way to actually prove these things.
I'll give you an example of faith, right? I have faith that wherever AJOT goes, Denison is not far behind, and vice versa. Don't ask me why, I don't know, but I've got every bit of faith that that's going to happen in most lives. Meanwhile, would you say that that was faith, or was that just sarcasm?
Well, coming from you, it's meant to be sarcasm, isn't it? There we go. There's the link in the chat. WolfLover's Paranormal Investigations, live at 8. That's the link.
Please
right.
Go over, like. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and give them a chance. This is only, I think, their 3rd or 4th live. So the more that they do, the better things get, you know. Hello, No More Light. How are you?
Talking of faith, there's one thing that you can have true faith in. Even that's becoming questionable. But in this life, what we believe, there's one particular thing. Never mind God, never mind Jesus, never mind ghosties. It's the Grim Reaper. Death is inevitable. We'll always meet the Grim Reaper. How about that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I know when you're all going to meet me as well. That's like the point. Stango, I asked you earlier on what's happening at 8. I do like Sasquatch. He puts things so eloquently. So, yes. And then we have Denison. I have no hope either.
Faith is the willful suspension of disbelief, not to be confused with hope. Hope are what dreams are made of, aren't they? Hope.
Yes, and some dreams do actually come true.
Now you've got to have. Oh, sorry, I'm doing that. Was Tunettes, wasn't it? I was thinking of Gabrielle.
I'm just listen. Carry on talking by all means, but I'm just going to show a banner while you talk.
Okay. Oh, what's this then? Yes. Oh, we can talk over this.
Yeah, I did say that.
Mm-hmm.
It's on a loop so people can see it.
I've been playing with this actually, getting my head around it, so trying to work out what's what. And Hippie said that he hasn't been struck for any of these on YouTube yet. He said it seems that they're all copyright free because of the way they've been twisted or rewritten.
I'm not 100% certain. So I can't really say. I know Hippie's not had any issues, which is a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But everything which I borrowed, right, I couldn't play on here. Put it that way.
Right. Okay.
Because they're either very, very close to the originals, or they are the originals with lyrics put to them. Andy, how are you doing? Let's get spooky. Well, that's what we were discussing, in a way. Because we're not 100% certain. We were just discussing whether or not there is actually some sort of life after death, so to speak. I'll send it over to you so you can come over by all means. I'll put it in Telegram for you, mate.
Oh, I'll be back in a sec. My tea's been brewing for about half an hour. We're back.
What a shame.
Stone Cold.
All right, you can still hear me. He's just muted up, He does these sort of things. Earlier on, he was trying to go on. He couldn't. I don't know what's up with him. Never mind. Indy, it's going into Telegram now, mate. There you go. Right. Let's hope we don't have the same problem that we had last time when Indy came on. We had some right idiots and suddenly came in. Haters. Here he is. Going to live dangerously now.
Ooh, spooky wooky. All the trolls are going to come out of their holes now.
Yeah, better not get bummed again. I mean,
Rogered by Randy Ghost. Let's get it right. Come on.
Well, all right. I don't know whether you believe or you don't believe, right? But is there such a thing as a spirit, an energy, a ghost, or anything after death?
I'll show you something. Look, I'll show you something now, boys. Right, life after death. Yeah. Right. So you know that my channel has taken a drastic turn. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. I'll show you what it's taken a drastic turn onto now, boys and girls. Don't look at my ugly mug because it will scare you.
Well, that's the reason why. Oh, he's gone into the ghosties. Look at that. I knew this was going to be a self-promotion from Indy.
I went to Rendlesham the other day as well.
Mm.
Following the so-called UFO. Well, I've totally debunked it, and I think it's the biggest load of crap to bring basically tourists to their village. So, do you know about the Rendlesham incident, do you?
But I heard something that was up in the sky. Nobody knew what it was, and there was
so basically, back in the 1980s, there was a UFO sighted off of a base called Woodbridge, which is in Suffolk. It descended into the woods. Now, there's a place called the East Gate, which we went to, and to cut a long story short, these army officers and a guy called Holt or Colt, he was the officer in charge that night at the Rendlesham place. And basically, we went to Rendlesham and we followed the route that these soldiers said they took into the woods. They said it was 300 yards, try over a mile. The place where it was, you definitely couldn't see no lights, but there were two weird things that happened. Now, we saw a couple of Chinese lanterns go up. And the boys that I was with, like, look, UFOs are like, no, mate, that's Chinese lanterns. I goes, I guarantee you within about 30 seconds, they'll burn out. So I've let them burn out and I've turned the opposite direction. Now, as I've turned to the opposite direction, I've got this on live stream. There's a ball of light in the sky that's moving up and down and left and right very, very erratically. And it's moving away from us. Now, within about 30 seconds of spotting it, it was gone, mate. See you later. It disappeared off the horizon. So, but I still think the Rendlesham incident's a load of crap. I think it was hyped up a bit just to bring tourists to the village.
Well, yeah, that's what tends to happen. But, I just wondered whether there was life after death. I mean, we've got quite a few paranormal channels coming out on YouTube now. The Americans are still way ahead of us. But I don't know. I still don't think, I'm not convinced. I believe people have faith that there is, which is fine. That's not a problem. Whatever really keeps you going, if you believe in something, you believe in something. You got every right to believe it,
At the end of the day, I'm a bit of a skeptic. Unless a ghost pops up in front of me and goes, hi, Indy, I'm going to spook the fuck out of you. I ain't going to believe it. So basically, me buying all the paranormal gear and going out, I'm searching for proof. I'm going to go to some very, very spooky places, abandoned buildings. I'm even going to spend the night in a few graveyards on my own. I'm not going to go with people. I'm going to spend it on my own because that way there can be nobody that will basically, what's the word, contaminate what I'm trying to do.
No influence. That is 100%. I'll agree with you. They're 100% there.
Now, I've
if
got
it's-
all the gear. I'm even getting a FLIR system that I can plug into my phone to pick up heat signatures and stuff like that. I've got a night vision scope as well, which I'm going to get an attachment that I can rig it up to my phone so that people can see everything. And I'm probably going to spend a good few nights in various graveyards. There is one graveyard that I am going to spend the night in. I don't know when I'm going to do it yet, but it's one of the most famous graveyards in London.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only clue that I'm going to give you. Oh, and the other clue is that George Michael's buried there. There you go.
Oh, might catch a bit of ectoplasm. There.
Mate, no, mate. I'm going to bring my spunk shield. That ain't going to happen. He's not going to be singing "Don't Let Your Sun Go Down on Me," mate, because I'll plug him with a RAM pod. I'm telling you.
Nice. So you've got run pods, you've got some EMFs, you've got what you got? You got EVP, you got spirit box.
Yeah.
Have you got spirit box there? Yeah.
I've got all the bits.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm waiting, the only thing I want to get is the drone. Not the drone. I've already got the drone. I want to get an attachment so I can attach my FLIR system to my drone so I can take aerial footage of heat signatures.
That would be interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, not seen that done yet.
Neither have I, so I'm going to be a bit of a pioneer when it comes to it. I'm going to strap an iPhone to the bottom of my drone along with a FLIR system, and I'm going to take it up 700 feet above the graveyard.
Excellent. Oh, I want to see this.
Well, I think the thing, as I say, is to me, it's never been proved one way or the other. And the comments which have been made in the chat supports something which you said, Sangu. It's faith is faith. Faith is in something or someone, and that could be living or dead, inanimate or inanimate. You know. But if you've got faith in something, then whatever gets you through the day, at the end of the day, you know, like I say, I've got faith that 9 times out of 10, I'll turn up for these on time, but I can't guarantee 100%. That's why I've got Stangu.
There is another thing as well. I'm going to be popping up north pretty soon as well because there's a few places up there I want to do.
Oh yeah.
So, any of you guys up the north want to get in on a bit of ghost hunting, let me know. And what we'll do is I'll arrange it with me and my 2 boys, and we'll come up and we'll meet up as a big crazy gang, and we'll go and do a big place like a mansion or somewhere like that, because I'm starting to get in contact with urbexers and ghost hunters that have got quite a big following, and they're slowly letting things slip to me. Oh, this place is good, blah, blah, blah. You know, they're not giving me the names of them, but they're posting videos on these places, and they can't be too hard to find.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, when you say coming up north, does that mean past the Watford Gap?
No, mate, that means past Birmingham, past. Well,
oh right.
There's one place I want to do, and that's north. I'm going to try and get to the Alistair Crowley House in Scotland. I'm also going to do the Alistair Crowley House in Cornwall as well. They're my first 2 places I'm going to do.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
In fact, I haven't actually heard of either. I did hear about when you were talking about it some time ago.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I'll keep my eye open for that.
Well, things are all falling into place for me now. Do you know what I mean? I've got my little box of spirit goodies, and I've got a few other bits and pieces I've got to buy. But yeah, when I go out doing my ghost hunting, I'll be going out on my own that way. No one can contaminate what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? The only person who's going to make noise is me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It does, and like I said, I'm going to go to the place I'm going to go to is Highgate Cemetery, which is probably one of the most haunted cemeteries in London. You've got George Michael buried there. There was meant to be a vampire there back in the day, and this is what I'm going to find out. I'm going to go and find the vampire's grave. I'm going to go and have a talk to George Michael and ask him if he can zip me up before I go, and that'll be about it, really.
Can I just say, Method 2.0, you're right. I think mine was pushed some time ago. I seem to have got a lot of members just recently. Whether it's YouTube pushing it or not, I don't know. But this is a garbage channel. We're talking about the paranormal. We're doing what everybody else is doing.
I'm not going to be doing what everybody else is doing. Watch.
You were talking about aliens earlier. Do you think there's any connection, putting aside like ghosties and aliens, we're talking energies, vibrations. Do you think there's any connection with what people pick up on their meters or in the past reported on, that it could actually be dimensional alien contact, or, you know, maybe residual energy?
Well, you do know that there's when you're walking around with all this paranormal gear, there's certain things on you that will set it off. Like my K2 meter, I couldn't go within 10 feet of it because it was sending my K2 meter crazy with my phone. The RAM pods, now if there's something there, they work, right? And for something to make a RAM pod go off, it actually has to touch the area on top. It actually has to be at that point where the RAM pod is, or else it will not go off.
But if you put your hand near the REM pods, it doesn't.
Sasquatch.
It does. I can put it within about 7 inches.
That's it. Yeah.
What's that?
Sasquatch has made a suggestion.
I can show you.
Either way, do short.
What?
So when you go into the bar, make sure you get a couple of double spirits.
No, mate, I'll take a bottle of Jack Daniels with me. What are you on about?
Take your own spirit then.
They say to me there's a Holy Spirit. I tell them, yeah, it's got Jack Daniels written across the bottle.
Written all over it, yeah.
Yeah. That's the only spirit I know of. It's like what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to prove that it's either real or it's not, like I did with the Rendlesham thing. So I'm going to debunk it at some point, and I am going to find out whether or not it's true, if there's life after death. And if it means me sitting in a graveyard all night, well, so be it. As long as I've got a bag of doobie with me, I'll be fine.
Oh. Did it, the Native American. What do you make of these things?
I'm back
to these.
What thing?
Pendulums.
What am I looking at? What a pendulums. I wouldn't use it. Same as a dowsing rod. I wouldn't use them because they can be manipulated by the person that's using them.
Oh, they can. In what way? You mean deliberately, or through sensitive subtle vibration?
Okay, you think about it, right? You're standing there and you're holding that pendulum and it's swinging. It's not sitting in any particular point, right? Now, I've watched paranormal investigations where they've had maps down in front of them and it's actually synced to a point on the map. Now, me being me, I know that that's a magnet because it ain't going to do that. It's on a bloody chain. It's just going to swing freely like it's doing on the screen now. I was going to buy one of them, and I was also going to buy a set of dowsing rods. Now, I know dowsing rods could be manipulated because they're on like a pivot. So all I've got to do is move my hands a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right for it to sort of, come across and meet in the middle. So I don't really trust them sort of things. Same as, all these stupid apps that you can download, like Necrophonic and all that. I don't trust them neither.
No, I don't trust the apps at all.
Like I said, unless I can see it in front of me and it's spoken to me or it's left a mark on my skin, I'm not going to believe it otherwise because, you can lean on something, you get a scratch on your back. You can lean on a doorway, there could be a nail there. You can move away really quickly. You might not feel it scratch you, but you've got a scratch on your back. I've seen that happen and people go, look, I've been fucking scratched. It's like, how about the nail that's sticking out the door behind you, mate? You want to get a tetanus shot after that?
So with these, I mean, I've done.
Can anybody answer Devo's question?
Devo, what's he saying? Excuse me, gentlemen, but I was chasing a ghost and I think I came in here. Did you see it? I felt something pass through me, but I'm not sure if it was your ghost or my ex.
I was too busy messing with the last two bits of your name, the Weed Chronicles. There you go.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. You need to go over and see him. He's got loads and loads of pictures.
Method 2.0. I wouldn't mess with spirit boards, mate, because you open portholes and you don't know what you're letting through. Where with what I'm doing, it's just a sort of where when you use a board, you're inviting things. Well, I'm not. I'm asking them to communicate with me, but I'm not inviting them through that porthole. Do you know what I mean? So I won't play with things like that. I'll let them set off my equipment, but there's no way on this earth I'd use a spirit board or anything like that because it's dangerous. You don't know what you're letting out.
Or what you're letting in.
Exactly. They said there's all these demons.
That's down to belief. Whether you believe that there is a door that can be opened into somewhere else.
Yeah, but listen, I wouldn't want to chance it. You know,
I've seen too many movies like that.
Well, no, there's too many. There's too many books out there and things that have said. There's even photographs of apparitions and stuff. And they've been proven that they haven't been tampered with or photoshopped or anything. So the only other things they could be is a double exposure or a glare on the lens. The way that I see it. No one's ever managed to get a pot of ectoplasm and get that tested. No one's actually managed to film a ghost, i.e., and not, how can I say it? I'm sitting in my garage now, and if something was to walk through the door, i.e., a ghost, I would film it. Regardless whether or not I'm sitting there, my jaw's touching the floor, I'd still film it because that's my proof then. Many of these YouTubers, they claim to have captured proof. What's stopping someone from sitting in the room next door and knocking on the wall 3 times and doing this, things like that? That's what I think most of them do. But there are the odd few out there, there's a good few that I watch, and I believe some of the stuff that they actually see, and the stuff that they. But then there's others that do it just for the hits and views. Do you know what I mean? And they're the people that I don't really want to watch. They're the ones that are. They do it for the clicks and the views, obviously. And then there's other people like me that genuinely go out there to prove whether or not it's real.
Yes. Yeah, it's knowing the difference between the two.
Yeah. Well, it's like the spirit box. There's no way on this earth that I could determine which one is a spirit voice and which one is a radio station, because it all sounds the same to me. The way that I see it, if I'm going to use a spirit box, I'm going to reverse what it's doing. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, I want it going 0, 0, or 9, going backwards. That way, if there is a radio station that comes through, it's not going to be English. It's not going to be a sentence that you're going to understand. Now, if they say that ghosts and spirits can manipulate that sort of stuff, then you're going to hear what they're going to say, because they're going to say it nevertheless. Where if you're listening to it on forward play, it's going to pick up all sorts of radio stations. It doesn't matter how fast you go through the frequencies. You're still going to pick up words like and, the, but, parts of people's names, and that doesn't resonate with me. That, to me, that's like not fraudulent, but it's not using it the way it should be used. Like I said, I'd play it all backwards, not forwards. That way you're not going to pick anything up. So if anything does come through, you know for certain that it's definitely paranormal.
Grandad Old Two's put a comment up for you. Indy, you think outside the box with stuff. That's what I like about you, bro.
Well, there's no point. Look, I'm one of these people. I'm not on the inside looking out. I'm stood above the box and I'm looking down at everything because I've got a drone. That's the way I see it. I'm not one of these people who stand in the middle. I'll be the person that walks away from everything and stands at a distance and watches and listens to everything. Because, I do think outside the box.
I do like what's going on in the chat, apart from the fact people saying hello to me, like do it. But the people are actually discussing it. Over in the States, Ouija boards are sold as a puzzle in the game section in stores aged 8+.
Could you just imagine walking in and finding your 8-year-old grandchild sitting there going, "Is there anybody there? Can you hear me? It's Derek Chicken Bakora." Could you just imagine that? And see that one there, Derek Akora? He was the one that basically made me look into this, because he got found out to be a fraud and a fake. And I used to be, mate, all I used to watch was Most Haunted. I'd get up in the morning, I'd put reruns on. And Yvette Fielding, she's a dumbass. She used to scare everybody half to death with her stupid screams anyway.
Yep.
And now they've got a daughter doing it.
Well, for those in the chat who are from the States who don't know what Most Haunted is, you've not missed much.
No.
Basically, you had a guy called Derek Akora who had a friend called Sam. He got all this information.
No, but you've got to get it right. It's his spirit guide, Sam. Sam, can you hear me? Give me some info, mate.
Yeah.
Where's the local drug dealer? I need some hallucinogenic.
He was also a scouser.
Yeah.
But I think as soon as he opened his gob, people should have realised there was something going on. But the thing is, he pretended to know things, etc., and he got found out by the guys who were making the films or the programs. They set him up twice because you can always get it wrong once, but twice.
But do you know what he was doing? He was having people research the places where he was going. Now, I don't believe all this bull crap about, oh, yeah, when we're going to go and do a paranormal investigation, we're not actually going to tell you where you're going to go. People get suspicious of that. So they're going to tell them where they're going to go because they're not going to go to a place that they don't know about. So on the way, he's obviously sitting there. He rings a few people and goes, right, I need you to investigate this place. I want you to pull up everything, people that have died. And what they'll do is they'll go through thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of different things from the press about this place, and he will find it out that way. And then what he'll do is he'll just lay it in his head. He'll remember certain things like, yeah, there was someone killed on the stairs. But what I'll do is I'll fabricate a little bit. So I'll tell him that Sam's speaking to me. There was a person killed here. And then what he'll do is he'll stand over his hands on his head and he'll say, Sam, can you give me a name? And then he'll stand there and he'll say, he'll say, oh yeah, it's like suggestive questioning. If you know how to suggestive question someone, you can get whatever you want.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yep.
I know that I can go to a person, I can ask them a few questions, and I can find out about their mum, their dad, how old they were, what year they died, just by asking certain questions. And that's what he did.
Stangu, those with a small screen, can you put that back on and put it on full screen so that people can actually read it?
I cannot find a larger version of it, unfortunately. That was it.
No, just put it on full screen. Put it back up and I'll put it onto full screen.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
It's like if any of you guys out there, London-based YouTubers, and want to do a bit of ghost hunting, give me a shout, man.
Yeah, he's also planning on going abroad eventually.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go abroad. Don't know where, but you got to go abroad.
You know what I was going to do? I was going to try and get my passport and piss off to the Ukraine.
It's just a small little, but it says, I'll read it to you. The recommended age to use an Ouija board is 8 years old. So you need to be 21 to drink alcohol, but only 8 to summon demons.
Well, we don't need to summon them. We've got plenty of them in Parliament at the moment.
We're getting rid of one. I mean, sorry, one prime one anyway. We're getting another
one. The one we need to get rid of the most is Chris Whitty, the alien. don't you think? Do you remember back in the 80s there was a film called Mac and Me? If you shaved his head and skinned him, he would look exactly the same as that alien.
Well, I thought he was the one that came out of Sigourney Weaver at first, but
no, that one was better looking.
Oh right, okay. Matt Whitty was the government advisor who got caught doing things that he shouldn't have done.
You've got two of them mixed up. It was Chris Whitty and Matt Hancock.
Yeah, well, Matt Hancock was somebody released the secret footage. That's all I'll say on that one.
The best way to remember him is Matt Wancock and Chris the Alien Whitty. That's the way I remember him.
Yep. Two idiots who one was in the government and the other one just supported the government and was recognised as a so-called scientist for nearly 2 years. Well, we never did work that one out.
Exactly.
Okay. Right. Okay. I really don't get that one, Devo. Never mind. So we've got roughly half an hour before we close down, and then everyone can go over to WolfLover's Paranormal Investigators Live. That's the whole idea of this, and we are also publicising Indy's new venture and what he's doing as well. And for all those haters out there who say that I don't share other people's stuff or I'm very picky, I'm not. I've got Indy on. How can I be picky?
He's got Indy, the troll muncher on, yeah.
Last time he came on here, we almost got shut down.
Well, mate, do you know what? It was brilliant because he got the views up, didn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I personally don't have an issue with trolls. That's all. As long as they behave themselves, yeah.
I do. I don't like the ones that live under bridges and kill kids. They're the worst ones.
That's most of them, isn't it?
Yeah, or the ones that get the goats that are coming across.
never mind.
The trolls seem to leave me alone on my own live stream, though. When I was live the other night, I didn't have one trolling.
You must have been disappointed, and your figures must have gone down.
Mate, the whole night I only had 50 people in the live, so it was quite good. Because we had everybody talking about what was going on.
Tell you what, if I got 50 people in the live here, I'd be absolutely amazed.
Mate, I'll make you laugh. When I first started doing live streams at home, I was getting 100, 200 people plus a night.
Yeah, but hang on a second. You were a little bit controversial.
Mate, I'm always controversial. This is Indy you're talking to, not some run-of-the-mill soft lad.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I like to cause controversy.
When you hit YouTube, right, it was a bit like Marmite. You either loved it or you hated it. You know, and you've obviously got a lot of people who actually enjoyed the way that you hit things head on and didn't hold back too much.
There's only one person I can thank for that. There's only one person I can thank for that, and that's Tyrant Finder, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be out doing the things that I'm doing now. He was the one that gave me a push.
Yeah, UK Tyrant Finder, another good
From
guy.
UK, yeah, he is a bloody good guy. Me and him, we've been down to he lives in Bristol. We've been down there, and we've done the hotels down there with all the dinky divers in and that as well.
Yeah.
And then the news started reporting on it a week later after we already uncovered it. Tyrant done it 1 week and went with his nephew or something, and I went up to Bristol purposely to go and see him, to film with him. And yeah, we found out a lot.
Those lives.
Yeah, we found out quite a bit. Do you know what I mean? Like £5 million a day on hotels, 10 grand, 15 grand on pizzas. Do you know what I mean? That's coming out of our pockets.
Of course, and that's the reason why Boris ended up in such a position. You know,
Boris ended up in such a situation because he chats crap, and he has done for the last 2 years. He should have never been made prime minister. My dog could do a better job.
Yeah, we seem to have a war going on between Upstate and Devo.
Upstate, get off my channel. That's
yeah, they're both the great mates. They come on here occasionally.
That's cool.
They are real. What's the word? Smokeheads.
Oh, welcome to my world, boys.
Oh, between them, they've got some lovely plants.
I live by the leaf and die by the leaf. Well, not the leaf, the bud. There you go.
Yeah. Well, these guys they talk about all sorts of things, different flavors.
Oh, mate, they'd have loved me 10 years ago because I used to do a live stream on a live streaming app called Friends Life, and I grew my plants from when they were 2 inches tall until they were 5 foot. And then I taught everyone how to cut them down, crop them. I used to call myself Frying Pan. I was Iron Man's cousin, and I used to wear an Iron Man mask with blue eyes. And people used to try and find out my location. It was the weed fields of Colombia.
Nice.
And my attic looked like a rainforest, mate.
Mind you, electricity was cheap then.
No, mate, I had my meter rigged. What are you on about?
That's what I mean. It was cheap then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was cheap then. Plus, I had a backup generator in my bathroom as well, in case my electricity went down. So I was well prepared.
So, what's going to be happening? In half an hour, we've got just over half an hour. We've got the live going on, and we've got
live
tomorrow. Tomorrow, we've got our Saturday Night Mayhem on YouTube.
See the thingy later on. Is that a live ghost hunt? Is it?
It's a paranormal investigation, sir.
Well, the same thing. Ghost hunt, paranormal investigation.
Yeah, it's a return. It's a return to a previous location, which they did live, but I'm not allowed to say where, only because it would spoil their intro.
Well, see me, I don't ever give away unless people know where I'm going. If I'm going on a ghost hunt, I won't give away the location because you get idiots that turn up that will, throw things at you and make spooky noises, hoping that you're going to crap your pants and stuff like that. That's the reason why I'm just going to start going on my own.
Or alternatively, you invite the Grim Reaper, who then dresses up in the normal attire, and people start complaining. You got some idiot running around in a black suit. Good job it was never filmed. That's all I could say. Oh, I do like it. I do like it.
I'd
It's
find
an
that.
huge improvement, isn't it? Yeah. All you have to do
That's the
now
face of the Reaper. That's the face of the Reaper.
yeah, you might have the face of a Reaper, but you're not the Reaper. Neither am I, actually. I'm just a normal person.
You're just a stand-in, for fuck's sake, until I go and take it over. Come on, let's be honest.
No, that's Stangu.
No, I said stand-in, not Stangu.
I'm more.
He's more. The Reaper's right-hand person.
I'll tell you something else as well. If you guys want to get hold of these cat balls, they are pretty good, actually.
Yes, I think they may be in use tonight, the cat balls. My cats love them.
Mine don't.
So does the dog. It bloody well. Every time it moved, it was flashing.
Yeah.
I thought it was taking an internal photograph of itself. But that's the point. Should have seen it when it came out, though. Jesus, it was stringy. Anyway, what have you got planned for tomorrow night, Stangu?
Nothing.
There you go.
The usual. We've got we can do some quizzes. I'm guessing you don't want to try out the karaoke on YouTube, but we can do some quizzes. We've got the usual cards or a quiz book. I've even put I was given some travel version of Trivial Pursuit we could have a go at. Just a different set of questions. But if the panel wanted to play it, for not for points, but who gets there first, we can do that, and the chat can just join in and influence the answers if they like. Give that a go. We need about 4 people to play it.
Yeah. I'm just going to try and sort out a link for. Of course,
I'll tell you what you could do to make it more interesting. For those of the people that are going to watch the Paranormal investigation tonight, why don't you do some questions around that to see how people, watch the investigation and see how they interpret it. So ask questions like, what happened at timestamp, blah, blah, blah. Because if people are watching it, they're going to know what's happened.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's just a little thing that I thought of. You know what I mean? That's the sort of thing I'd do if I was going to do a paranormal investigation and I was going to go live the day after it. I would do something like that. Makes things a bit more interesting.
Yeah, I would say I don't know what's being planned or not being planned for tonight. There, I've just said I'd do the pre-live, get people interested, as you say. And hopefully everything else works out for them,
If you drop the link for their live into Telegram, I'll promote it on my community tab and see if we can get a few of my supporters in there as well.
Just give me a couple of minutes. I'll do that. I'm trying to sort a link out for Devo, but looking at the time, by the time I get it sorted, we'll be closing. But I will send a link over for tomorrow night. Which would be about 3:15 in the afternoon where you are over in the States. Lucky so and so. Nicholas, can you do us a favor if you're still around? Can you drop the link in and can you send it over to me and I can sort it out, please?
Hi. Hello. Yes, I'm going to have to get my cameras and studio sorted soon because I'll be going live on Tyrant Finders.
Captain Creaming. Oh,
Captain Creaming.
Sorry, Captain Creaming. Sorry, I read it wrong.
I don't know.
Here we go. Time to get filthy, right? Let's talk. How about if we talk about the idea of incubus, succubus? What is all that about? Do we believe that a ghost can actually?
There's a link for tonight's live.
Right, what I'll do is when I jump off of it, I will stick it on and promote it.
And I'll just bring Telegram. I can put it in the back chat, can't I? You can copy it.
Wasn't Lilith a succubus?
She was meant to be the original, but that's biblical. That's biblical. Also.
Yeah, I know. But they say that she's like the main succubus, didn't she?
Yeah. But I mean, I'm thinking I know you're, and I'll tell you what, I totally agree. The best way to go into there is as a skeptic, And it's about the process of elimination. You've got to disprove everything until the point where you've got nothing left to disprove, and that's the nugget of gold that you're dwelling on. That's the stuff that you may never understand, but that's the stuff that keeps you interested in all this.
But then I'll make you laugh. I'm not knocking the paranormal.
Indeed, I've just put the link in for the live in the back chat, and also sent it over to your Telegram.
All right, yeah, cool. What I'll do is once I jump off of here, I'll promote it. I'll stick it on my community tab. Like, I've had some weird things that have happened. I used to be a security guard, and I was working at this place called Houghton Hall, which is in a place called Houghton Regis in Bedfordshire. Now, I was doing security, and basically, every hour I was doing a perimeter check where I'd walk around with this black device that looks like a K2 meter, and I'd put it on a reflector on the wall, and then that would send something back to the office to say that I've done my route. And I was working with a mate called Ross, and this house it's a stately home. It's pretty big. And basically where we were, there was like a little circular, cylindrical security booth where we were sitting. And I said to my mate Ross, I goes, Ross, is there meant to be anybody in that building? He's gone, no. I goes, who the fuck is that standing at the window? Now, this staircase, it goes down in a circle, and basically it was a big bay window, and there was someone stood there. Well, me and Ross shit ourselves and called his dad and told him to get his ass there. Seriously, we went around the whole building. There wasn't a window smashed or anything, and we both witnessed it. This is before the time of mobile phones and everything, and the person was just stood there. We checked every window, every door. We even walked around with hurley bats, which is an Irish traditional game that's played with a big stick. We walked through there with hurley bats looking for someone. We didn't find nobody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to cover all the faces up for a bit while I do some advertising. Carry on talking, by all means.
Yeah,
well, you can't stop me.
I wouldn't even try to.
No, the thing is, we're talking about like supernatural again, like what some supposed spirits or energies. I mean, if you have a feeling that you've been sexually interfered with by an energy or a spirit, I just wondered what your views, whether we were talking about, maybe vibrational energies or just pure energies, as opposed to sentient thinking ghosts. If you know.
Well, me personally, if I had a rapey ghost that jumped on me, I'd be asking him how much. Seriously. And I'd be saying, was it as good for you as it was for me? Kind of spooky.
And could it cause a phantom pregnancy? That's the other thing.
I don't know. Just let me check. No, it's
hang
negative.
Hang on a second. Didn't that happen just over 2,000 years ago?
Yes.
Yeah, it was called the Immaculate Conception.
Yeah. No, I didn't go with anybody, honest.
I just slipped and fell on his dick, but I was only on it for a couple of seconds and then I ran away.
I mean, in the there's a part of the mental universe in there. If you're resonating with energies that turn you on, different things turn different people on. Your mind would take over, and you could probably imagine, that it's an energy doing it, and before you know it, you're creating an image of some, ghosty kind of woman or man, wherever you're into.
The only things that I turn on are my Xbox, my TV, and my phone in the morning.
I don't even get to turn my Xbox on these days. I just go straight on here.
Well, you know what's doing, don't you? Fiddle about with its knobs, eh? It's the same way as how to make a snooker. It's the same way as how you make a snooker table laugh. You put your hands in its pocket and tickle balls.
You're giving away your age now with those old jokes.
No, I'm not. Jesus. Me, I'm a spring chicken.
What's he got to do with it?
Oh, the spring chicken.
Well, you called it Jesus.
Jesus, who the hell's he?
Do we have a countdown for? We got 22 minutes before the official live. That's if they're ready on time, of course. And they've got a signal.
Yeah, I can't wait to get out and do stuff on my own, because I know that when you're walking around in these spooky places on your own, and buildings, they tend to groan and move, concrete and all that sort of stuff. Now, I'll totally debunk that. I'll know exactly, because I've been in the building trade and that, so I know if it's concrete moaning or groaning or rafters moving and stuff. And I can usually differentiate between footsteps and creaks of wooden beams and stuff, because I've got really good hearing.
I have when my batteries are in.
No, I don't use batteries. I use a parabolic microphone.
No, I've got hearing aids that are specifically tuned.
What?
Oh, you've got
Exactly.
a parabolic microphone. You've got a parabolic microphone, have you?
No, I'm just saying that to be a funny fuck. I'm going to be buying one in the next few weeks. What I'm going to do with it is my little test run for it. I'm going to go and stand outside the Houses of Parliament and point it directly at the doors of the Houses of Parliament. On basically where you walk along, there's an area that you can walk along, and it overlooks the door. So I'm just going to stand there with my my camera, and I'm going to record everything and listen to all the crap that comes out of their mouths.
So can you get close to the Tower of London? And not necessarily have to be night. I mean, isn't that where executions used to occur? And stuff?
I can get as close to the Tower of London as I want, man. I can hover 50 feet above the Tower of London if I wanted to.
Yeah, I think there's some confusion about the karaoke. It hasn't started yet. We've still got to set it up properly. But we will have a separate Skype channel just for it. For those people who want to join. Stangu is going to be leading the first one.
What does that say? Pearly teeth and cosmic knockers. Fuck's sake. I only just realised what that said, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Go on then, Jay. You've not said it, Cosmic Carla. You haven't said a lot. I know you're not a believer. You're a total skeptic. But what's your opinion? What do you believe happens after?
Well, you know, I was just having a flashback to that incubus thing. That's why you brought me on here.
Would you like to tell?
No.
No.
Okay. No. Sorry.
I'm going to say absolutely gorgeous, Chuck. That's for D-Way. I don't know why he wants me to say that, but there you go.
now do it in a Manc accent.
You've just totally lost me now.
Oh, it's not difficult with these two once they start. You can't shut them up. It's worse than you.
Oi, listen. No, actually, don't.
I might tell the incubus story.
Hiya, James.
Tell it when, sorry. Did you
Sorry,
say
I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just saying hello to James. Because he was nice enough to say hello to everybody else.
Hello, Mr. James. How you doing?
Hello, James.
There you go. Isn't that much better? Oh, you feel better now?
I didn't know you were there.
Did you say you're going to tell the story?
I might do it tomorrow night.
Well, why tomorrow night?
I'm not talking about it now because you put me on the spot and it's made me go weird.
But this is the night we're talking about.
It's made me go weird, and you were doing that pendulum thing before that made me go weird.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it didn't. That's not what you said in the chat. You said you were being hypnotized. The last time he hypnotized you, you didn't get out the chat. Well, not fully clothed, apparently.
I'm not fully clothed now.
There you go.
TMI.
Sorry, what was that, Indy?
Nothing. Speaking to myself, mate. It makes more sense.
Well, it does with these two.
Boy, mate, at least no one answers me back when I talk to myself. Well, sometimes I do. It depends on whether or not I'm looking in the mirror at the time, but yeah.
Don't you ever find yourself having an argument with those three characters of yours, me, myself, and I?
No, because me beats up I, and I get poked in the nose, and then I get sabotaged by the other two.
Why does everything come down to violence with you?
Nothing. It doesn't.
Really?
They started on me, mate. Do you know what I mean? I'm a single person on my own. Do you know what I mean? And they just want to bundle me because, they're my alter egos.
Well, I say that anything can happen. I really do mean it, folks. We started off on a serious note, and we've ended up with Indy.
Because I come in and lower the tone every time. It's great, isn't it, guys?
No, you actually hired the tone. I was talking to Stangu.
Oh, really? I always lower the tone. But back to the incubus story. How about we ask the chat? Because I think people are interested.
We're not going to have time. It's coming up to 1:45.
Well, okay.
I'm sorry, but you see...
It could be a quickie.
Just one thing, right? Listen to the names. Yeah, right. Just one second. Listen to the names: incubus and succubus. Bibus. Yeah, I don't get that. What
to get the bus in?
Yeah, why didn't they just call it a rapey ghost? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a ghost with a 5-year sentence hanging over its head.
You seem to make this into some sort of joke. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's a serious subject. No, it's not. Sorry.
It is when she's charging you £20 for a succubus, mate. I'm telling you.
Now.
You've been ripped off.
I'll tell you what. It's always great to have a little bit of laughter, regardless. Tomorrow night we may get the Americans back. I'll send them an email with the link, and if they come back in, Indy, you've got to be in the chat. You will love them. And if there's room on the panel, come up. You can join these lovely weed chronicles.
The only way I'm going to love them is if they drop me a big package full of cannabis. I'm not going to love them otherwise. Come on. This is me talking to them.
In that case, you just have to go to the channel, subscribe, and like.
On a comment as well. Come on, man.
So we're counting down. We're nearly there. It's almost the end of the show. I'm going to give it another 5 minutes and then I'll close it up. So you've got plenty of time to go and sit in the queue and wait for the live. And if you really want to, you can let them know that Stangu sent you over. That's if you didn't like the show. If you loved the show, by the way, you can say that Cosmic Carla and Indy sent you.
No, I'll tell him that Sam sent me my spirit guide.
Oh, right, that's fine. Yeah. And Nicholas is still here, ghosting.
As you do.
Listening to every word just in case I put the show down in any way, shape, or form, which I wouldn't do. You know that, but there again.
I'll tell you what would be good, though, if I could meet up with a few London-based YouTubers that are interested in the paranormal, when we could get out and we could do a big live stream. 3 or 4 of us.
Yeah, that sounds like...
There's not many people in Central that do ghost hunting. They're not interested in it. They'd rather go out filming people getting battered across the head with batons and stuff and bull crap protests that don't mean anything anymore.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to get into that because that's
I wouldn't even bother, mate. It's just crap.
You know, I'd rather film a wall drive with paint on.
Why don't you do what I do? You've got a dog, ain't you?
I've got a dog and 2 cats, yeah.
There you go. This is what I usually say. I say I'd rather film my dog's shit going dry in the garden than film a protest. I goes, there's more action. I goes, you should see the blue bottles that land on it, mate. 50, 20 at a time.
There's only one problem with that.
Go on.
I live on the first floor of a cottage flat. There's one underneath me. I don't have a garden.
That's all right. Just leave it on the balcony then.
Mind you, what I could do is I could stick the dog's arse out the window. That might help. No. It might not help the person that lives below you if they stick their head out the window, though. Bombs away.
Yeah. They'll be looking up.
We are all about the ghost hunting only. Okay. I never said you weren't.
I'm about this, that, and the other, not just ghost hunting.
Paranormal investigations. Live at 8 o'clock. Courtesy of WolfLover. Hop over to the channel and say boo. Grandad might be around, he might not be, I don't know. He was due today, but on some serious advice, he decided to drop out because he wasn't feeling too good. But hopefully he'll be around tomorrow. I'm feeling a lot better. Have you hired a lady to sing again tonight? Well, not tonight. Sorry.
I thought singing was my job. Who's this lady you keep hiring, Grim?
Cosmic Carla's going to sing Ness and Dormer in a minute.
She's going to be singing that theme from Ghost.
Ooh.
Yeah, and playing with the dough, the plate, what
molding the clay in my hands.
Yeah.
Okay, you won't be fingering.
Yes. And you're going to have a spirit
Is
behind
the clay
you
nice and moist?
Yeah, well, as long as you keep it that way. Listen, guys, I know we've had a bit of a laugh, we've had a bit of a giggle, we've taken the piss. Nothing new there. It was Indy's fault.
Don't blame me, it's your show.
Well, all right, then. If it wasn't your fault, it must have been Stangu's.
It was
No, you
mad.
can't blame Stangu. Whose live is it? It must be the Grim Reaper radio show. So you're the only person that you can blame. Do you know what I mean?
Well, who's the Grim Reaper?
He's someone that takes people before their time.
Where's the proof?
Whereas the proof stood behind me. He's got a big, massive size. And he's smiling at me. He's missing a few teeth, but that's with how old he is. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Well, either way, I've enjoyed it, and
Been a great
nothing
laugh.
ever planned. At the end of the day, I'm glad you came up, Indy. It's helped with people, and Cosmic Carla took your time, but you got here, and you cheered up the captain above, who's still playing with his pendulum.
Yeah. Well, just one quick question before we go. I mean, these things, what are they picking up on? Because think about it. You can pull out a pendulum anywhere and you can tap into something if you believe right?
Do you want me to tell you the best way I've seen them used?
Go on.
Right, so basically I was watching a paranormal investigation many years ago. It was in America, and some woman got abducted, and they were searching this length of river for her, and they were sitting there with it over a map, and it was going round in a circle, and then all of a sudden it just pinpointed this bank, and they went and searched this bank, and they actually found her body.
Right. Okay.
Basically, I was a bit wowed about it. I thought it was a magnet, but no, they showed everybody under the table. So they had like when you go underwater, you can see above the water and below the water.
Yeah.
They had a camera set up for that, so you could see that there was no magnet under the table. And basically, the stretch of river, I think it was about, I don't know, a mile long. And they searched that particular bank of the river, and they found her in a fucking like a storm drain outlet.
Yeah.
So the person had murdered her, abducted her, and stuffed her in there, and that's exactly where she was.
That's bad, man. It's called remote viewing. Remote viewing, and apparently during World War II, they used to employ or get people in there that claimed to be able to do this, to actually do the similar stuff, didn't they? To find enemy munitions and bases and stuff. Yeah.
But it is quite a clever way of doing it. Like, I've never tried it because I don't think it would work personally for me, because same as a dowsing was, I just don't think it would work. But the other things that I've got, the bits and pieces that I've got, I reckon they will work because I've seen them used to the best of their ability, and I've seen how people have used them, and they can't. The K2 can be manipulated by a phone. You can stand next to it and it will flare up. The RAM pod, you've got to be, like I said, within touching distance of it. So you put your hand around it, you clasp your hand around the area, not touch the area, it will go off. And the closer you get to it, the higher the frequency goes on it.
Right. You're right.
But then RAM pods, they're not cheap.
No, they're not. They're easy to make, though. I've got a homemade one that was fairly cheap, and it's very sensitive. But it's just not a portable little thing like the one you've got. That's the REM pod, isn't it? The one that they all use.
Well, I'll make you laugh. When I get bored, I'm going to take it to pieces and find out what's in it and make a couple of my own. So
there's not a lot in there at all, man.
No, I know. all is something that lets off its own electrical field, isn't it? And once that's corrupted, that's when it starts to bleep.
Yeah.
Right, guys. For the people who turned up in the last half hour, do apologise. We are closing shortly. I have put the link into the chat for you to go over and watch the live, which is going on at 8 o'clock. And tomorrow night, we're going to be having our Friday Night Mayhem show, but it'll be on the Saturday instead. And hopefully we'll have had a chance to test the karaoke out, and we'll be able to confirm when we're going to start that. But we will also be putting it on directly onto our website as well, so people will be able to watch and listen, and anyone can join. So long
I might have to come.
Can I do that "Love to Love You, Baby" song by Donna Summer? That's my favourite.
Probably. There's around about 1,500 to play with, but not 100% certain what I've got. YouTube is very nice in lending me some, which is one of the reasons why I can't put it on the YouTube channel. Okay, bad.
I might have to come on and sing my rendition of Bohemian Rhapsody then.
Oh, well, we've got That's You and BBA who wants to do the same thing.
Do you want a little taster of my version?
Not tonight, Josephine.
Oh, come on. I'll have everybody. Listen, mate, I'll have everyone in your chat laughing their heads off.
Well, we do that anyway as soon as you come on.
Oh, yeah, there is that, yeah.
Go on then. Get the first, not even the first chorus. I'm
All
going
right,
to
okay.
get ready to cut you off in case.
It's rude. It's rude.
Well, it can't be as bad as Kevin Bloody Wilson.
Okay, then. I see a little homosexual of a...
Right. Anyway, on that note,
Single.
that would be for a private one only, I think.
No, I don't do private shows, mate. They cost more.
This one's totally free, mate. You don't even have to pay to get in. But yeah, all right. That was different, folks.
All right, listen, it pays to be different. People take notice. Why do you think Stangu's still laughing his head off?
It does.
He's learned something tonight, folks. Anyway, I'm going to close this down, give you a chance to go over to WolfLover's channel and watch the Paranormal Investigation live. Thanks very much. We'll see you tomorrow from 8:15 onwards. And with a little bit of luck, we'll have a couple of American Weedheads here as well, because they always go down well. I'll have a chat to him in the early hours.
Like a good solid blunt first thing in the morning. Wake up, bake, guys.
Yeah, don't forget though, it is 3:15 in the afternoon, and depending on what time they actually sleep will depend on whether or not they can make it. If they're up all night, eating gummy bears as well. God,
Sounds like what I was doing the other night.
Yeah. They went through over 1,000 grams, I think it was. Of gummy
Mate,
bears.
I'd do that in 2 packets. I get packets and they're 600 grams each. I eat them 2 sweets on my own, mate.
Yeah. That and everything else that they were doing as well. All the weed they were smoking, from reefers right the way through to pipes. It was one hell of a show. That's all I can say. And you're going to get one hell of a show. Hop over to WolfLovers. I'm saying ta-ra for now, and we'll see you all again tomorrow, folks.
Okay,
Free the weed.
Absolutely.